Food plays a major part in Chinese festivals. Customarily, certain foods are especially marketed for a particular festival, and amusingly, many of them are also linked symbolically. During the Lap Yue, or the 12th month of the lunar calendar, people in Guangdong province in southern China will marinate meat, especially pork and duck, and put them into an urn. A few days before Chinese New Year's, the preserved meat is then taken out and then hung in the path of the cold north wind for drying. The preserved meat symbolizes abundance of food for the family.
We're here in a Guangzhou preserved meat store, and I'll tell you, this is one of those places that I always have my own kind of culture shock at, because as soon as you step into a store like this, the smell just hits you like a wave. And we're really not used to this in the West. In our butcher and meat shops, everything's behind glass, everything's refrigerated, it's very cool, and there isn't much smell. I'm still having trouble adjusting to this kind of thing in China.
The preserved meat is known as lap mei in Cantonese, which is a delicacy served when the weather is getting cold near the end of the year.
8月15號有北風起，一直到過年。我哋呢個地區，廣州地區呢，天氣轉涼，人對肉類嘅要求有所增加。咁嘅情況下面，大家食呢覺得佢係特別開胃、特別可口。呢種嶺南文化可以講係流傳咗幾千年㗎啦。
The preserved duck is known as lap nap, and the pork sausage as lap chiang, while the thin slices of preserved pork are referred to as lap yok.
春秋戰國時期，亦即係孔夫子嘅時代啦。我哋都學生去讀書，叫咩呢？就帶啲肉，叫做束丘。咩為一束啊？即係10條肉為一束。咁作為俾老師嘅一種禮物，喺學習期間嘅一種伙食咁啦。
Lap means rite or ceremony in Chinese. Incidentally, lap has the same pronunciation as wax in Cantonese, though slightly different in writing. Hence, the waxy-looking Chinese preserved duck and pork sausages are mistakenly known as waxed duck and waxed sausage.
Now behind me here is one of my favorite preserved meats, and that's jerky. Jerky is basically meat that's been smashed together with all the water dehydrated and all the fat taken off, so it will last a really, really long time. For people who grew up on the prairies, this is one of our favorite snack foods because you can take it on long trips and it's really, really tasty.
There are two types of Chinese sausages. The common one is made from a mixture of lean pork and fat, and the lap chiang is usually red in color with pieces of white fat. The darker, almost brown Chinese sausage has liver as an additional ingredient. In some products, the meat mixture is minced into fine pieces, and the sausage thus appears fairly uniform in color and texture. Lap chiang mixture is stuffed into animal intestines or synthetic casings. The sausage surface is normally wrinkled due to quick drying. They are tied together in pairs with different color strings to indicate type and grades.
睇落去呢，個腸收索一定要靚，摸落去乾身，肥肉呢係顯突出嚟，瘦肉呢係收縮嘅，個顏色睇落去係通紅嘅。當你齊水蒸嘅時候，發現佢有燕紅色嘅，呢啲臘腸就肯定係添加咗食紅色素。
Whole ducks or deboned drumsticks are also preserved. They are pressed into flat pieces for ease of handling.
Now, the ingredients in Chinese sausages are quite different from Western ones. They're much, much more sweet, for example, because they put things like red wine and sugar, salt, and a few other things in them. They're also much smaller and more dried than the typical Western sausage. Ours are considerably bigger, and they tend to have a lot of garlic, some peppers, and sometimes even things like cheese or other things mixed into the sausage.
Chinese sausages and Western sausages are made in much the same way. Chinese sausages have an intense fragrance brought forth by the addition of wines, soy sauce, and spices. White wine made from rice or other grains is usually used in preserved duck. Red wines are for flavorful Chinese sausages. The 5-spice or cinnamon powder further enhances the delicacies with a rich aromatic tang.
西方香腸咧，呢樣嘢佢嗰啲咧係全部打碎咁整成嘅熱狗咩早餐腸咩三文治嗰啲咁嘅嘢。但係我哋呢啲咧肥肉係切丁嘅。
Traditionally, pork or duck is cleaned and cut by hand. The cut meat is left to marinate in a mixture of salt, sugar, and liquor for quite some time, after which they are taken out to be gradually dried in the cold winter wind. In the process, the meat is cured slowly and aged with its unique appearance, flavor, and taste.
用糖、靚嘅汾酒醃製佢經過2日幾嘅火櫃出嚟嘅時候咧，你睇下個乾度係夠，瘦肉係硬嘅，肥肉係爽身又臘肉，顏色係靚嘅唔會軟搭嗰啲係唔夠乾嘅。仲有呢個臘肉咧，當你蒸嘅時候肥肉係爽脆嘅。
The meat becomes more flavorful and harder each day it is dried. The drying process can last from a few days to 6 months. Do not deep fry or grill lap chong or lap nap at high temperatures. Low cooking temperatures prevent the nitrate and nitrites from being converted into carcinogenic nitrosamines with the amines in the meat.
Now, the first time I tried Chinese sausage, I thought it was like a Western pepperoni stick, so I just bit into it, and way too sweet for me. After that, I tried to cook it in a frying pan, and I actually got burned by the hot grease because it was spitting off the sausage. So finally, I asked a friend to explain to me the proper way of cooking it is to boil these babies for a little bit and then slice them up into other foods, and that's how the Cantonese eat them.
The highly fragrant lap mei is usually used in small portions to enhance the flavors of savory dishes such as fried rice, vegetables, and dim sum.
佢食用咧係好多元化，百搭啦，好適合都市人嗰個節奏快，焗飯啦、炒菜啦，又可以用嚟燜啦，好似燜下蘿蔔燜下芋頭咩臘味煲啦，咁都可以嘅。
Lap mei is high in salt and fat. Individuals with diabetes, heart disease, and high cholesterol need to make sure they eat it in moderation. So during this festival season, why not go out and enjoy the Cantonese lap mei?